Good afternoon. It's Rob with Echo Fine Properties, and it is, what time is it? It's wine o'clock. Wine o'clock. And you couldn't tell behind me. Look at this great video. Oh my God, look at all that wine. Look at that. If you love wine, look at, oh, there, she's pouring it. Oh man. Wow. So if you love wine, there's a local business located right in our community, another business that we're highlighting within our local community, located right in Juno Beach on Donald Ross Road. As soon as you go over the bridge, you're going into Juno Beach, you got the plaza on the left-hand side, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts there, and there's a wonderful place called the Vine Post. And I'm going to send it out right now to Echo Fine Properties real estate agent, Suzanne Slate. Hello, Suzanne.
Hello, Rob.
And Mr. Tom Battaglia, the owner of the Vine Post. And Suzanne, I know you're a frequent client. I've heard you like to go to Tom's place quite often.
Well, I buy a lot of wine from him, and I think wine is my middle name. So I'm happy that he exists and knows so much about wine. So we're happy to have you here, Tom.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And I don't know anyone who doesn't like wine. So you know what, Suzanne, I'm going to let you take it away, and let's find out a little bit more about the Vine Post. I was there about 2.5 years ago. We went in there with Victoria, and we did a little video on the Vine Post. And you guys are frequent shoppers there. So, but you got a box, you said last week, I think, of wine.
2 boxes.
2. Whoa. All right. So let's learn a little bit more. Let's find out from Tom what the Vine Post is all about.
Yeah, so the Vine Post, I started the Vine Post back 2013. I started out as a wine concierge service, and I service wine to both wine collectors and just everyday wine drinkers. I remember when we first started, I had an office space that was about yay big, and I remember there was wine stacked everywhere. It was getting a little claustrophobic, so I think I met you right around the time when we first opened up the shop here in Donald Ross. And, when we opened this location, we built a bar as well as a showroom to showcase the wine. And, we started showcasing the wine. We were sending out deals via email originally, but, we still do. People can come in now, they can browse the inventory, or they can go on our website, they could shop there. Within the next couple of days, we'll have an updated list. So, if people want to shop, they can go on there. We're going to offer a lot of discounts in the weeks to come. But, originally we had wine tasting events when the bar is open. That is, I know currently our bar is closed. We're waiting on what the protocols are going to be. And I'm assuming that we'll be in the second phase, fingers crossed. But when the bar is open, you can come in on any given night. You can have a glass of wine on our buy the glass list, and we usually have something special open, whether it be a wine that I brought from a winery, or something that may be on the shelf for people to try. And we usually have tasting events and weekend wine flights that we offer. And right now, I'm actually in the process of putting together a few virtual tastings. And so we should have all the details narrowed down by the end of the week. But once I narrow down all those details, I'll send the information out. People can pick up their wine. And we'll have some little goodie bags with some literature. They can take it home, and we can have the tasting from our living room via Zoom.
So why don't you walk us through like pre-COVID days? Because your store, I don't know if you want to call it a store.
Yeah. Well, so
unique and so adorable and so fun it's like being in your own living room or your own wine room.
Yes. Yeah. What I love about the store is, there's all kinds of wines that people can try. I have wines, international wines from all over France, Italy, the US, New Zealand, you name it. There's always something new. We always have, boutique wines, I guess you'd say. We try to focus on boutique wines, collectors wines, but nothing that will break the bank. I mean, we start at 10 and up. So there's a price, a range for everybody. I completely understand that, but what I love so much about these wines is that, we try to focus on wines that typically don't have any additional sulfites added, no pesticides, no chemicals. These are wines that you're not going to typically find in a retail grocery store setting. They're more or less, I guess you'd say, limited production. They're organic or certified organic, biodynamic, sustainable farming methods that they use. So we try to focus on wines that not only are of great quality, but are healthier for you.
Right. But what's unique about you is that, I love wines, but I don't know everything about wines. I know what I like to taste. I know what I'm a full-bodied cab person. Some people are Pinot Noir, but you're there to help pick out some great wines and try it. I've tried a few and no, a little bit more. And so you can get the variety and get exactly what you want.
Yeah. I always like to hear what the customers have to say, what kind of wines they like to drink. And then I make some suggestions. And I kind of like to push the envelope a little bit. I know that, someone likes to drink cab. I might make a suggestion from another region, like if they drink California cabs, for example. Maybe it's a Super Tuscan, or maybe it's a Spanish wine that they would enjoy. But I always like to offer some suggestions, and I'm always curious to see what they're drinking now.
Yeah, wine tastings, you're able to taste wines from all over. People walk into Total Wines and they're just going to get something from California, that's typical.
Yeah, we're more, it's more of a hands-on approach. I always love to, hear what they have to say, what they like to drink. You're not going to typically find that in most retail settings when you're shopping for wine. Sometimes you walk in and, you don't know where to begin, and there's a million labels everywhere. And so I try to narrow it down and help them out, and, get them drinking some good wines.
One thing, I have a question. You talked about the sulfates, right? And I've heard, and sometimes I go with the cheap wine and I get that headache the next morning.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like
terrible.
crap. Is that from the sulfates and the chemicals that are in that wine too? Does that cause that a lot of the times?
Sometimes a winery may add additional sulfites, and you might see that more with red wines than white wines. Here, unfortunately, like in the United States, you see that a lot with the California wines, those big, bold cabs. You wake up the next day after having a glass and a half, and you're like, oh my gosh, But, the whites, not so much. And especially with what's going on with the international wines, the Italian wines, the French wines, there's hardly any additional sulfites, if any.
Have you seen and just two more questions and I'll let you go. Have you seen a slowdown now or change because of what's going on in Italy and France? Has there been a disruption to the wine from those areas, or not really?
There has been. I think, with the importers, they're not importing as much. They don't want to hold as much inventory right now. So it's more of it's not so much in a production sense. I think it's just more the supply, getting those wines, getting access to those wines. I think that eventually, it will change and kind of go back to the way things were. But I think that in the months to come, you're going to see a shift in what people are buying.
And why does wine, my dad always had the saying, and he ages well, like a bottle of wine. Why is it that it's the older the wine, the better it is? Or what does it have to deal with that? Give me the background on that, because I really never understood that. My dad's like, the more it ages, the better it is. What's the deal with that?
Well, not always the case, but sometimes, what you'd like to do is you'd like to age the wines, kind of settle it down, especially for these big, bold cabs. You find a lot of these wines are just not ready to drink right away. So you lay them down, and over the years, you might want to crack a bottle open, see how it tastes. And then, maybe another year or two goes by, you open up another bottle. It's the wine changes over time. It's really interesting from the moment that it, hits the production line and is sent out. to, within 6 months, 10 months, a year, you could have, for example, I've had a wine that I got on the shelf, immediately opened it up, drank it. And then I opened it up maybe 6 months later, it tasted completely different. So wine is constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. It's its own separate organism, I guess you'd say.
What about now? I see a lot of wines with the screw top instead of a cork. Has that changed?
Yeah, you know what? I noticed that a lot more. And I think it's a good thing because, from what I've heard, there's been a shortage on corks. There's been a cork shortage, but also I think it preserves it a little bit better, in a sense that you're not going to have a corked bottle. You're typically, it's like a nice seal around the neck of the bottle. And you're not going to find over the years, open up a bottle and it's corked. That's the unfortunate thing. You might have wines that, you're collecting and all of a sudden you open it up and you're like, oh no, this is just bad. And that's not something that you want. But
is it a good idea for people to get a wine cooler in their home?
I would recommend it. Yes.
If you're a wine drinker, I mean, I will put mine, leave it out, really a cab or something. I'll, cork it or take the air out of it or whatever. But I
would definitely invest in that. It doesn't have to be, you could have a little small Eurocob unit, maybe about yay big. And it definitely makes a big difference in terms of preserving the wine.
And if you were mixing red and white in a cooler, what would you put the temperature at?
Well, reds, I would have a dual setting. I would have a 57 for the reds, a little bit cooler for the whites. I would probably keep it around, the low 50s. And I think that would preserve it perfectly.
What is the wine that's coming up now? We've changed with the seasons, right? I know summer's coming. I like a lighter wine, but I still no person, but I start drinking more white wine. So
I'm pretty partial to some of the Italian wines, like the lighter, the Pinot Grigios, we have some nice Gavi and something with some acidity and something that's a little bit, lively and, and zesty. I think that is perfect for the summertime. That and rosé, it gets so hot in the summertime. I don't want to drink a big red. I want to stick to the whites and the rosés.
What is your price range, your price points? Like you said, $10. I drink wine probably every day. Mm-hmm. My body knows when it's 5 o'clock or now with the COVID.
Wine o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock. I know when it's 3 o'clock, it's like, whoop. But so I want to have a good wine that tastes like a $50 bottle of wine that I can drink every day and then have my nice ones.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, there's all kinds of wines at all different price points that you would be amazed. I mean, you could buy a bottle of wine for $15 and it'll taste like it's $100 wine. We really like to target, the small production labels, these boutique wines, and just really focus on the quality.
How do you just, I guess that's a question. How do you, I mean, you have wines from all over the world, correct? I mean, from all over the place, all over the country, all over the world. How do you decide, like, I want to get that I'm going to order that Italian wine, or I'm going to order that wine from France? Do you taste test beforehand? Have you traveled to some of these wineries across the country? How do you do that? How do you process
yes. So I work with a number of importers, distributors. I taste everything that you see on the shelf. So, me or my staff will taste together, and we make the decision. It's kind of like a group decision of what we put on the shelf. And, we have a knowledgeable staff that would be more than happy to help you out with the purchase. But that's kind of how we make the decision. It's a group consensus. And, it really just, we'd like to focus on what people know, but at the same time, we kind of get a little crazy. There's some obscure varietals, obscure regions that, we kind of like to push them into and see what their thoughts are.
Suzanne, that sounds like a side job for you. You can go there and help them taste the wine and then decide whether it works. Come on.
Well, it's kind of like working at the Container Store. I would spend everything that I make.
um, and then, just tell people again, you're located right there in Juno Beach. You're going over the bridge on Donald Ross. You're in the plaza there with Dunkin' Donuts. And is that the plaza? What's the name of that shopping center?
Yeah, so I'm located in Plaza La Mer. I'm directly next to like the Dunkin' Donuts, like you said, and Garden City Cafe. The address is 817 Donald Ross Road.
And how can people? So right now, of course, you're not having people inside. Are they able to do curbside pickup? Are they able to shop online? Are they able to call into the store? Give me those deals, and how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, sure. So with the current protocols, I mean, people can call, they can place an order. And again, I said that our site will be up with the current updated list, but they can browse the site, they can call in, place the order, they can order it online. We do offer curbside pickup as well as delivery. And, we've been delivering wine to a lot of these communities, these local communities, and we received a very positive response from that. So we're offering discounts right now to those that can't make it to the shop. I completely understand with everything that's going on. All across the board, any customer will get 10% off the wine. So if they see something online, that's take 10%.
Very nice. Okay, so it's thevinepost.com, correct? Is that the website?
That's correct. And they can use the coupon code TVP10 on the website.
Let me put that TVP10, TVP.
Yes.
And then what's the phone number that they can call if they're watching this right now and it's wine o'clock for them and they need their wine? What's that phone number they can call?
Sure. They can call 561-935-1720.
Very good. And Suzanne, what's your favorite wine? I like, I'm a Cabernet dry, but my dad was always this dry wine drinker. And I used to always go, oh, that's so bad. And now I guess I'm turning into my dad. I love the driest of the dry. What about you? Yeah, I like dry red.
I'm really full-bodied cab, but like I said, it's summertime, so I like a nice crisp Sauvignon Blanc or a Pinot Grigio. But I'd love to. That's what I love about the Vine Post. You can go in and find other bottles of wine you won't find anywhere else that are delicious and, like he said, are affordable. And then you can buy that specialty. I like Farniente too, so that's one of the Chardonnay, and so I have some favorites, and Peju, which Brian hooked me up with a long time ago. So
well, and Tom's a local guy. He's going to spend the time with you. He's going to figure out what your taste is, and he's going to remember his clients because it's that type of atmosphere there. You go into a Total Wine and More, one of the bigger shops, they don't really know you by name unless you're there every single day. I would guess they might know you by name, but they don't know you by name. They got people working there that, oh, where's this at? Oh, down that aisle. And there's really kind of no help sometimes, I feel. But if you go to a guy like Tom, a local guy, he's going to spend the time and say, well, what do you like to drink? He's going to figure out your taste buds. And then he's going to give you some suggestions. And he's going to spend that quality time, figuring out what fits your taste. Do you guys do now? I know we're right now in this COVID, coronavirus thing where things aren't open, but when you have your shop open there where people can come and taste wines, do you have like food pairing days, or do you do any of that type of stuff at all, where you have like chocolates, wines, and all that type of stuff, or not really? Have you done that?
We do, yeah, and we use our neighbors. So we'll use Garden City Cafe or our county line. We'll put together some platters, a nice antipasta dish, or a cheese plate. There's a new place that's opening up right next to us. It's Grace's Fine Foods, and I believe they were in the marketplace in West Palm. I can't think of it right now, Grandview. So I'm excited for them to put together some cheese boards, and it'd be fun. Once we open back up, we'll have some tastings and do some nice pairings with them.
But you can still get Tom's wine from the Vine Post, so you can call him. Give me that number again, Tom. What's the number for the shop?
The number is 561-935-1720. And I would also like to say that if I would strongly suggest that people sign up for our newsletter too for any additional deals. I know I said that there would be 10%, but we're also putting some really good pricing on these wines that we're getting in. A lot of vendors are coming, trying to work with us and trying to work with them as well and get good pricing on some of these wines. So we will have some additional specials, and I would strongly suggest that they take advantage of it. If they go to the website, they could just sign up for the newsletter.
And you heard that. That's the vinepost.com. Go there, sign up for the newsletter. Also, if you type in the code T as in Tom, V as in Victor, P as in Paul, 10, the number,
That's correct.
10% off. And you can do curbside pickup. Tom said they have been delivering to the clubs. They've been delivering all over, to these different clubs. So I know, Suzanne, are you still got a lot of wine left, or are you running low?
I'm running low, so yeah, he'll be hearing from me soon.
I guess one of my last questions for you, Tom, is how did you get started? Like, how did you get into wine?
Well, it's really, it's funny. It's my father got me into wine since I was a kid. I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I mean, I'm Italian. I used to have wine at the dinner table on Sundays. He'd always pour me a little something. I've always enjoyed having wine with a nice meal. And, growing up, I really, really just appreciated it every chance I can get, just tasting new wines, new regions, new varietals. And every day is something new. I started this business, and actually I really have to thank Brian too from Cafe Chardonnay, because Brian really helped me along the way. And that's originally how I started out, was with Brian. We were putting together varietals that people wouldn't typically taste on any given time, at some of these restaurants or in these retail settings. And it was just a new experience every day. It was really great. But I started out, not so much in the wine background. I was doing accounting and management, and then I ended up diving into it. So I became a somm later on, but
Much
it's
better
just
choice, much better.
But it's just funny, every day I learn something new, and that's what makes this so great.
So if someone wanted to, I give us a tip of a wine that you have there right now that's on special that people should call and order.
Well, I would definitely take advantage of the Peju, like what you said, the Piccolo. I know that that's a fantastic red. We have that on deal right now for $32, typically $35. If you like, bold red blends, proprietary reds that are, Cab, Merlot, I would definitely suggest that. If you like white, like something with some minerality to it, the Malabaila is really delicious. That's an Italian Arnese from the Roero region. It's really, really fantastic. And that's $18 a bottle.
And how about a rosé?
Rosé, the Trianis. So if you like a nice Provence style,
yeah,
you can't go wrong with that. That's really fantastic.
Tranus, Tranus?
Trianis, Trienes.
What's one of your favorite, Tom? Like I said, we have wines from all different regions of the world, the country. What's like one of the best spots that you've come across for? I guess it depends on the type of wine you want, but what's one of the best? Is it Spain? Is it France? Is it Italy? Is it California? Is it Australia? That's a tough question. I know, I guess.
This is very tough. Again, it's, subjective. It's partial what I like, but I really gravitate towards the Tuscan wines, the wines that are Sangiovese, or, Cab Merlot based. I like that more rustic style, that kind of earthy, funky characteristic that you would typically get out of the Italian wines or the French wines. Really, really enjoy those. But I gravitate towards.
Sure, it's just a matter of preference. What's a good dry red? What's a good one?
I would probably recommend the Meadowcroft. If you like something that has a little more fruit, if you like a Napa Valley Cab, Meadowcroft is really nice. It's, you still get that dark fruit, you get the oak and the cassis and stuff. But I would definitely recommend that. If you want to stick to the Italian or the old world, I would probably go with the Tolani El Paso. Really, really nice. It's Sangiovese Merlot blend.
Writing these down.
Trying to write it down phonetically.
Exactly.
In stock. It's 22 a bottle. It's a fantastic wine.
It's amazing because it just blows my mind how many different wines. I mean, you sometimes it can be overwhelming, and I think that's where Tom, and that's my point here, is it's where Tom can be of great assistance because he's going to take the time to spend with his customers. He's going to get to know you. You become like the family, Tom, I guess, right? It's like walking in. I'm sure you know people. Suzanne comes in, you know kind of what she wants. Maybe she wants to try something new. So you're able to point her in that direction. It's unlike going to a big box store or just joining some random wine club online where you're not getting that one-on-one. I mean, I can call you, I can talk to you, you can help me out, you can walk me through. You know, so folks, if you've never been to the Wine Post, I suggest, if you love wine, and it's wine o'clock, it's what's today, Friday, I don't know, today's Thursday, Friday, whatever day it is.
It's day.
You know, it's day. It's day. Call Tom, visit the Wine Post, check out the vinepost.com, and use the code T as in Tom, V as in Victor, P as in Paul, 10. That's TVP10 for 10% off. You can call. Give me the number again, Tom, the call.
561-935-1720.
So, Suzanne, I mean, it's an incredible place.
Right?
Incredible.
It's so cute. You don't want to leave when you get there, you know? Of course, it's filled with wine, so you never want to leave a wine room, but.
Do you have to kick Suzanne out, Tom, when she comes? Is she in there for too long? Like, you're like, all right, lady, come on, it's time to go. Get out.
No, she's great. She's fantastic. We're happy she comes in and supports us.
Yeah, and I get to know Dad too, so Dad's pretty cool.
Yes. It's been helping out quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Tom, and I want to say, you know, I really appreciate you know, your shop there and what you mean to the local community. Businesses like Tom's, Suzanne, we've been highlighting for 3 years now, but for the past 4 weeks we've been highlighting them in this different way, this Zoom way, this live Facebook Live way, this virtual way, and we need to keep supporting local businesses like Tom's, and you know, buy local, buy from Tom. Tom, again, wealth of knowledge, knows his wines, knows your taste. We'll get to figure out your taste, and look at, I mean, just look behind me. This was the video.
I'm getting thirsty.
Look at all this wine behind me. I mean, he's got a plethora. I used a big word there, plethora, a lot of wine there, a ton.
Presentation is nice, and I think a lot of people too go into the regular retail stores and they buy by the label. So, you know, wineries are getting, you know, creative with their labels, so it catches someone's eye and they open it up and it's horrible. So you know, you really have to have somebody that can help you out if you don't know what you're doing.
And I did that last week. I was guilty of buying a bottle of wine because I'm like, oh, that's cool looking, or it had a cool name. The name was just cool. I'm like, yeah, and the wine was crap. Like, oh God.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was a bad choice.
Millennial, that's all I could say.
Yeah, it was a bad choice. But Tom, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Rob, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that so much.
It's really fun. Yeah.
Visit the Vine Post, and Suzanne, I'm sure we'll be over there shortly. So, Tom, thanks again, and we're back at 2:00 today with. Hold on, let me get the name right. I don't want to mess up the name of the business. Blue Water Taco Company. I guess it's a new taco joint in the Jupiter area. Penny Burke's going to join us.
Oh, what wine should you have with a taco, Tom?
Oh yeah, what type of wine for a taco?
Ooh, you know what? I think a nice Spanish red, something with some acidity, I think, or even you know, if you want to do pork tacos, I think a Pinot. You do Pinot Noir.
Look at this. We're doing pairing with tacos and wine. This could turn into something here, Suzanne.
Maybe now, your next one, you could make wine suggestions to go with that taco.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys back at 2 p.m. today.
All right. Bye, Tom.
Bye. Thank you.